The first Monday of the semester always had a strange kind of pressure in the halls of Ridgewood High, but today felt heavier, as if the walls themselves were waiting for something explosive to happen. The cafeteria buzzed like a restless hive, students moving from line to line, the smell of pizza slices mixing with the stench of anxiety. Everyone seemed to whisper the same name: the Iron Fang crew was back. They were the school's most feared biker gang teens who rode motorcycles, broke rules like habits, and treated the school like it belonged to them. At the center of their circle was Axel Thorne, a 6-foot wall of tattoos, leather, and silent threats. If you crossed him, you regretted it. If you even looked at him wrong, you regretted that too. No teacher, no student, no counselor had ever managed to truly stop the Iron Fangs. They weren't just bullies, they were untouchable. At least, until today, when the lunchroom doors opened and a new girl stepped inside, everything changed. She wasn't like the nervous freshmen or shy transfers who usually tiptoed into school, trying not to draw attention. No, she walked in like someone who didn't fear anyone in the room. Her long dark hair fell over a simple white hoodie, her jeans were plain, her backpack ordinary, yet something about her presence was impossible to ignore. She didn't shrink. She didn't fold. She didn't hesitate. Her eyes scanned the cafeteria once, calm and steady, before she headed toward an empty corner table as if the room belonged to her. Students murmured instantly. Who is she? Where's she from? Does she know what she's walking into? Because this school had rules, unwritten, unspoken, but dangerous. Rule number 1, never sit anywhere near the Iron Fangs territory. Rule number 2, never ignore them. Rule number 3, never, ever look like you don't care about their existence. And she had already broken all 3 without even trying. Axel's crew noticed. They always noticed. Raven, the sharp-tongued girl with a leather jacket patched in skulls, elbowed Axel and nodded toward the new girl. She doesn't know who we are, she sneered. Or she thinks she's above us. Axel's jaw tightened as he watched the girl open her lunchbox calmly, taking out a sandwich as if she were in her own kitchen. No one walks into my cafeteria acting like that, he said, pushing back his chair. Let's welcome her. The cafeteria went silent the moment the Iron Fangs began moving. Their heavy boots echoed against the tiles like thunder approaching. Students ducked their heads, hiding behind backpacks, pretending to be invisible. Even teachers looked away because no one interfered with Axel and his gang. Not unless they had a death wish. The new girl didn't look up until their shadows fell over her table. Axel leaned forward, planting his palm on the table, making the whole thing shake. You're sitting in our spot, he said, voice low and threatening. She blinked once, calm as stone. I didn't see your name on it. Raven let out a sharp laugh. The kind that meant trouble. Listen, princess, Raven hissed, this is our territory. You move when we tell you to move. The new girl took another bite of her sandwich. No, the cafeteria froze. Someone even dropped their fork. Axel's expression darkened, turning dangerous. He wasn't used to being told no, not by anyone. And certainly not by a new girl who looked like she didn't even know what fear was. Get up, Axel growled. Now. She didn't move. Didn't blink. Didn't even flinch. And that's when Axel nodded at 2 of his guys. Before anyone could react, they grabbed her by the shoulders, yanked her up from her seat, and threw her across the table, sliding her over trays, milk cartons, and shocked stares. Gasps erupted across the cafeteria. Someone whispered, "Oh God, they're dead." Because the second she landed, something changed. She pushed herself up, wiped sauce off her sleeve, and looked at Axel with eyes so cold the cafeteria temperature seemed to drop. Not frightened. Not shocked. Not hurt. Just annoyed. Axel smirked. Next time, move when we tell you to. But the girl finally spoke, her voice soft, calm, and deadly steady. Next time, she said, you should know who you're touching. Axel raised a brow. And who are you? She stepped off the table slowly, cracking her neck as if warming up. Then she said the last words Axel ever expected to hear, I'm the niece of the most feared biker king in this state. The cafeteria erupted in whispers. Some screamed. Some gasped. The Iron Fangs froze. Axel's face lost its color. Raven's smirk vanished instantly. Because everyone knew exactly who she meant. Reaper Kane. Leader of the Black Vipers. The gang even the Iron Fangs feared. The man who burned rival crews to the ground without blinking. The man whose name made bikers tremble. And the girl they just threw across a table was his blood. The cafeteria remained frozen for a heartbeat after she spoke her uncle's name, the silence so sharp it felt like the air could shatter, and then, like a delayed shockwave, fear rippled through the Iron Fangs with a force none of them could hide. Axel's smirk died first, replaced by a twitch in his jaw he tried to control, but the truth was written in his eyes. He knew exactly who Reaper Kane was, and he knew that crossing the Black Viper's bloodline was suicide. Raven stepped back instinctively, her bravado draining, while Zeke muttered a curse under his breath as if trying to calculate how long they had before Reaper himself walked through the school doors, or worse, before word spread to the Viper's pack of enforcers known for showing up without warning. The new girl watched them with that same unshaken calm, the kind that wasn't loud or aggressive but terrifying in its confidence, and when she crossed her arms, it wasn't a threat, it was a promise. "What's wrong?" she asked quietly. "You look pale." Her voice carried across the room like a slow echo, and the students who had moments ago cowered behind backpacks now peeked over them with wide-eyed fascination. Axel tried to regain control, puffing out his chest, stepping forward, but his boots hesitated. "You're lying," he growled, but even he didn't believe his own accusation. "Reaper Kane doesn't have family here." Her eyebrow lifted the slightest bit. "He does now." The room tilted into a deeper silence, one soaked in fear. Axel swallowed, his throat bobbing visibly, and in that moment, he made the second worst mistake of his life. He reached out as if to grab her again, but before his hand even came close, a thunderous roar erupted from outside the building. Not a scream. Not a fight. A motorcycle engine, but not just any. Every biker in the state knew that sound. A Viper engine. Customized. Thunder forged. Reaper's signature growl. Screams burst across the cafeteria, students scattering from windows, and Axel's entire crew whipped their heads toward the parking lot, terror igniting in their eyes. Someone yelled, "It's the Black Vipers." Even the teachers paled. Even the principal ducked. Because no one wanted to be present when a Viper came looking for revenge. Axel's face collapsed into pure panic. "We need to go," he hissed to his crew, but the girl only tilted her head slightly. "Running already?" He stared at her, this calm, dangerous mystery who had walked in like a storm waiting to happen, and for the first time in his life, Axel Thorne looked like prey. "This isn't over," he spat, but his voice cracked. She stepped forward just 1 inch, and that was enough. The Iron Fangs actually bolted, scrambling over chairs, tripping over their own feet, pushing through doors as the sound of the motorcycle engine grew louder, deeper, closer, shaking the walls as if the whole building was trembling with it. Students pressed against lockers to make way for the panicked bikers who moments ago ruled the school but now ran like shadows chased by death itself. The new girl didn't chase them. She didn't shout after them. She just watched, steady, silent, knowing exactly what she had set in motion. When the doors slammed behind the fleeing Iron Fangs and the cafeteria erupted in chaotic whispers, she finally walked back to her table, picked up her sandwich, brushed off a smear of spilled pasta, and took a calm bite. A few students dared to